Hello, thank you very much for tuning into this section of reads. This should be on the YouTube channel James13 Wicca. Also, I am doing in-person readings in Herkimer, New York. Google that if you want to, Herkimer, New York. If you're close to there, feel free to shoot me an email. I'll give you details. Also, if you're interested in getting a reading from me, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. That being said, let's go ahead and get into your reading. Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Taurus? Okay. Somebody wants to help you. So what is going on here? What is going on here is a great question. So whatever aspect in your life this is, it's all over the place. That might just be in the sense of like, you don't like where it is. I'm seeing these two cards come together. Like, there's energy that keeps trying to make things improve. Things keep coming in trying to make things better. But I just feel like the way it's happening, I'm just like, I can't move on it fast enough to do something with it. And I feel like there's this wall I have to get around. And it's like, energy keeps trying to come in, trying to correct the situation, trying to make it better. But I'm just like, I don't even know what's going on. It doesn't make sense. I keep looking at it like this doesn't make sense. It's just like showing up. It's like, I don't know you. I don't know what's going on here. You're telling me you can fix all this, but I have no reference for this. Why would I believe in that? And it's kind of like, okay, is this going to get better? Because I think it is. The thing is, I feel like what's going on, if this reading is going to hit, it's very uncomfortable. And I don't understand why people expect me to believe in it. I keep trying to understand it. I keep looking at the data, but I'm just like, I don't see the history. I see that you're giving me this reason, you're giving me that reason. You're showing me current forward. You're not showing me like why I should believe in this. Where's the references? Where's how this worked out for other people? Where's this where I can see that the proof is in the pudding? Where is that? The foundation isn't there, and it's bothering me. I feel like it's bothering me. There's like nothing. It's coming from like a complete fresh start. This is the history. Like, I don't have any. It's completely fresh and new. And it's kind of like, this isn't how I work. I keep looking at this as like, this isn't how I work. You can't expect me to be okay with this. You're saying it's all great, it's all wonderful, but I have no reason to believe in this. This is also here. I've been talking to it, I just haven't shown it. I don't feel like I'm connected to it. Other people might be like, yeah, you can believe in this. And I'm like, why? Like, you're like, show me where this has worked out before. I want to believe in it. It's not that I don't want things to get better. I feel like I do. But I'm just like, I invest my time in things that make sense, and you're not explaining to me why this makes sense right now. Thing is, it is pushing forward. I keep getting these other energies are trying to help you. It's hard. I feel like whatever this is, it might be a very rough spot. Other people are trying to help, other energies trying to come forward. This card actually is helpful, which it talks about sometimes earth energy. It can be Capricorn that's assisting you. It doesn't have to be a Capricorn person, but somebody with those like boundaries have to be adhered to, not having patience for people who break boundaries, that type of energy. Very stable, very regimented, very orderly, very good energy usually. Dependable. Once this energy makes their mind up, they're going to do something, then it will get done. I feel like I have this cheering section saying, come on, Taurus, we can do this. This is going to work. You're going to make it. It's going to be fine. And it's kind of like, I feel like I'm almost aggravated with that whole thing. But I'm also looking at this, like, it's almost like somebody speaking a whole nother language, or maybe it's the same language, but such a diverse dialect that I don't really catch on to what some of these words mean. It's kind of like, you know, youth, like school grade youth in the slang they're currently using. It's kind of like they're throw out some words and they're like, I know what the technical meaning of those words are, but the way you're using them, I don't know what you're saying. Kind of like one of those things. Kind of like it's the same language, but the way I would use that word and the way you're using that word does not seem to make sense to me. Um, or like, I don't think this is a new one. I think this one used to be in vogue. The word sick, meaning something good. Maybe it still does. I don't know. But like when you hear somebody use that word, you know, back when I was in school, that wasn't a good word. That's sick. That would mean it's bad. Now, it seems like now anyway, people use the word sick and they're like, that means it's really, really good. It's like, oh, okay. And it's kind of like, I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to go with it. Okay, what else do I need to get from this? I feel like I'm trying to understand what people are telling me, and I'm like, I get, you're explaining what you're saying, you're explaining what this means, but the way you're using it, the way you're handling it, it just feels so foreign to you that you're like, I don't know about this. I don't show up to waste my time, and I don't want this to fall apart. And you're telling me it's gonna go better, but I don't know. This has been a little bit crazy for a while. It's good. There's good energy coming in, but it's hard to believe in because it's kind of like I don't have reference from it for it. It's just I feel like I'm struggling with it. Even though it's good, I feel like I'm still struggling with it. And it's not because you're not trying. I feel like you very much are trying. And I think that's why I'm looking at this too, is because you are putting in the effort. You're trying to make sense of it. You want it to go better. You want to believe in it. You want to you want that to be the truth is the thing. But the thing is, if you can't believe in it, it's like it's hard to back it up if you don't really believe in it. It's really, really hard. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It reminds me of like, this might be a weird analogy, but it's kind of like looking at somebody and they're saying, give them the keys. They'll drive, you know, grandma home. And you're like, that person looks like they aren't legally old enough to drive. It's kind of like, really? And it's kind of like this person's saying that they're legally old enough and they're competent. I should go with it. And it's kind of like, okay, but it's through the snow. It's up a hill. You're sure they know how to handle a car through those type? Yep, they grew up in it. They've driven for years. They've driven for years. Okay, all right. It's kind of like I'm trying to go with it. I'm trying to believe in it, and it's kind of like other people are saying, no, this is good. You can do this, and it's kind of like I have to get past my own hang-ups to realize, no, maybe this is okay, and I really want to believe in it, but it's kind of like letting grandma go with this person that I don't know, and she's very important to me. It's kind of like, oh, that's difficult. So how is this going well, but you're having that feeling? That's what's confusing me. So let's look at this. So okay, this happens, but I feel like this is more like how I'm feeling because it's like this situation is going to go into a place where it's completely foreign to me. I feel like I don't understand at all what's going on. Like, literally, it's again like, it's like somebody speaking a language that maybe you didn't even know it existed. It's like some language from like, you know, a far off country that you never even heard of the name of before, let alone whatever this language is. You're like, I don't even know what that is or how, like, I don't even know. There's a change coming up that's trying to usher in this better energy that I feel like is throwing me right off because I feel lost. I feel like I'm dependent on other people to help me through it, and I don't like it. Again, you're putting in the effort. You're putting in the effort, and you're trying to figure it out. You're doing everything you can to make this work out. I know it's going somewhere good. I don't know. I'm looking at this and I'm cringing because I'm just like, I do see it's going in a good place, but I feel like they're giving this heads up that you're going to have this moment like, I don't understand this at all. This reminds me a long, long time ago when I started a job, and there was this one point where I was like a few months into it, and this new system came in, and I was just like, I'm new to this job, and I don't understand any of it. I don't understand the process, let alone this new system. And I was like, I remember being very upset, thinking I'm going to get fired because this makes no sense to me. I feel like I'm completely ineffective here. Long story short, I didn't get fired. I was not the only person that felt that way. Even people who had been there for years had felt that way. I just didn't know that. And after, like, it took a few months to get things back on point, and then I was fine. But there was that moment where I was completely devastated, and it was just like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to get fired because this, I don't even know. It's realizing that that moment is going to pass. There's something developing here. All right, if this reading is hitting, then it's hitting. If it's not, then it's not. Because I get this so foreign. This is good. I mean, because your natural reaction is going to be, how do I stabilize this? I want to be effective. I want to help. What can I do that makes sense here? And I don't think it's just not going to click in like that. I'm using that analogy like it was a financial situation. So there's rules and regulations. I'm using that analogy again for a reason, because it's like you had to know exactly how things worked out. It was very to the point, to the decimal. And I was still figuring out how exactly this is when you add this, that's when you add that, you don't do this here, you do that there. Taking that process into the normal system that you were taught on, if you're like 3 months into it, and then they're switching the system, and then there's a whole, where do you find this? Where do you find that? If you do find it, you find the correct thing to put it, and then where do you put that new number? This is how this feels for me at this point. It is kind of like I'm trying to stabilize it. I'm trying to understand. The thing is, the reason they're saying it's not going to be the time to stabilize is because, and this is reminiscent of my own life, the people you're going to be asking think they know. They don't know. So it's kind of like you're going to want to stabilize. Okay, tell me the right way to do it, and I'll just do that. I'll make notes. I'll make sure that I do it this way from now on. And the people you're asking are like, I know exactly what I'm doing, and they don't. And they don't know that they don't know. They literally think they do know. They legitimately, honestly think they do understand, and they don't. So whatever's going on here, it's good. There's evolution going on, but they're saying realize it's really bubbly. So like hopefully the analogy I'm giving whatever is making sense. Kind of like it's not like people are trying to trip you up, but they might not understand what they're doing, and they might be doing it wrong themselves. It was one of those things where, you know, people who were telling me there was other people behind the scenes fixing what they were doing wrong, and they didn't know that. So they were telling people how to do things, thinking, well, it's been working out this far, it must be right. But there was other people going in, fixing the reports. Like things were coming up on reports, and they were just going in and fixing it. So people didn't know that they were doing things wrong. It was a process. It took like 5-6 months for things to work right. It's a whole other thing. It feels like it was a long time ago, but maybe it wasn't as long ago as I think. But anyway, they're saying kind of roll with it in the moment. Realize that other people are sorting things out. Things are improving. It's hard to have faith in it. If this is happening, it's just happening. This reading is not making this happen. It's either happening or it's not. The situation is a little bit unhinged. Roll with it in the day. Take it day by day. Do what you can in the day. Keep going. Make it through the situation. I don't think it's going to last all that long. It could be a few weeks to a few months. Not too long. It may feel like years to you, though, especially when you don't like something. It just feels like it never ends, you know? There's something else I am definitely that reader that, like, whatever comes out, that's what we go with, you know? Information isn't correct. I got the star card reversed, which is telling me information is not coming out correctly. And you're not going to like that. You're going to want stability. Rational thought makes sense. It's just not available yet. After a while, things are going to start evolving in a better way. Tread carefully, tread slowly. I feel like we're slowly putting things into place where they need to go. It's not going to make sense. Like, it's going to get easier. It's going to be more comfortable, but slowly but surely. This reminds me of, like, when it's all said and done, it's like trying to fix something, trying to make sense of it. But it's like, once it starts making sense, I'm so like, I want this to work. But I'm like, I've been through so much with it. It's taking a while to really be at peace with it. It's going to take some process. It'll start getting better. It'll start making sense. But I feel like after I've been through it all, it's going to take a while to get through the night. The moon card coming in also, it's kind of like, it starts feeling better. It starts making sense, but it's going to take some time. Be nice to yourself, whatever that means. because I feel like you might be putting on some expectations to yourself, like I need to be here by now, I should be at this point by now, I should understand this by now, I should be, you know, up with everybody else by now. But the way this is processed, the way this is working, it's not gonna, you're not gonna be up to the par with everybody else is what I'm getting with that, which may be very unsettling for you. The thing is, and this is my opinion of Taurus, if I'm wrong, you let me know. Sometimes, yes, it takes Taurus a bit longer to get up to speed with everybody else in certain situations. But the thing is, when Taurus does get there, you know it. You know it probably inside out better than people who've been doing it for years. You know all the details because that's how you built it in your mind. It may take you longer to get there. It reminds me of somebody reading a book. It's like some people read books and they can read it in like a day or less. And like they know the gist of the book, and they enjoyed the book. But like certain other people will read that book, it takes them a week, but they know so much about, they could give you so many details, they could probably walk you through the whole story without looking at it, like because they absorbed every little piece as they did it. That's going to be kind of how it is for you. You absorbed every little piece as you did it because it's really important and it's really stressful, so you're like, I don't want this to be a problem. When you get to the other side of the situation, people are going to love you. People are going to see that you have a way to be very, very helpful. When you get to the other side of it, especially kind of like I'm giving that book analogy, some people can read it quick and they know the gist of it, they can get through it, they're fine. It reminds me of people in high school who would read the book, they could read it fairly quickly and then they could do a book report and move on with their life, they're fine. Meanwhile, somebody like me, it would take them a while, but then I would have so much detail, I'd get a really good grade on the book report, but it was kind of like other people like, why did you put that much effort into it? And I'm like, that's just how I read, that's how I do it. So, and then also people would ask questions, like, because you're going to know the information, you're going to know the ins and outs, and they're going to be like, oh, I don't remember that in that book. I'm like, well, it's this in this part, I don't know which page, but I think it was pretty much in this chapter. If you look in there, and they go, yep, it's there. I couldn't tell you the page, but I could tell you probably about the chapter, or like what's going on in that chapter. You'll probably find it in there. That's going to be you. You're going to have the details. People are going to want your opinion because you're going to have that. You're going to be surprised that people are looking at you that way. It's because when you absorbed it, you went through so deeply trying to make it make sense, trying to make it land, trying to make it build that foundation, that when you get to the other side, you're kind of sought out as like a subject matter expert for whatever this is. It doesn't have to be business, by the way, but whatever it is, people are like, wow, you really know what you're talking about. And you're like, I do. I feel like you're going to have one of those moments later on. Wow, Taurus, you really know what you're talking about. And you're like, I do? I do. I do. It's going to be kind of like, yeah, I do. I do. I do. I do. It's going to be one of those weird moments. I don't think it's bad. I mean, I feel like this is one of those, it's just, if it's happening, it's happening. Hopefully it's empowering. If it's not happening, I guess we don't worry about it then, don't we? Okay, I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.